Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. First off, let me apologize for not posting recent content. The MLF tournament schedule in my region slowed down quite a bit in the summertime, so I haven't been fishing those and haven't had any tournament reports to talk about. But July was really busy. I had a lot of family out, a lot of friends came out to see us, so I was out on the lake quite a bit and spent a lot of time working with people who wanted to learn how to fish, wanted to catch fish for the first time, wanted to catch fish bigger than they'd caught before. So I had a lot of time out there instructing new anglers and just having a great experience doing that. It was really pleasant. But in doing that, I realized that I don't talk about some of those beginner basics nearly enough. So I wanted to put together a short video here today and kind of talk about my recommendations on what type of rod and reel setup I'd use or purchase if I was just new to fishing and just wanted something that would kind of cover all the bases. Now, when we talk about rods, this could be a huge long video. There are a lot of different type of rods out there, whether it's surf casting rods for fishing on the ocean or fly rods for fishing small little creeks up in the Rocky Mountains. I've used all different types. They all have their place and purpose depending upon what type of fish you're chasing and the conditions that you're fishing under. Now, when it comes to bass fishing, normally you have two different types of rods. You have what is referred to as your bait casting rod setup. Right? This is a Carbon Light 2.0 by Johnny Morris. It's a Bass Pro Shop combo rod. In my opinion, fantastic setup. I think Odd Defoe would probably agree with me. Now, this is a medium action fast tip. I'm not going to go into the specifics of that, but I will talk about medium action. As far as a general purpose rod goes, for you guys that are out there, you could be fishing for trout one day, bass the next, walleye after that. A medium action rod is going to be a really good rod for you. It covers the basics. You can throw crankbaits with it. You can throw inline spinners with it. You can, throw jigs on it as long as they're not too heavy. It's just a really good middle of the line action, medium, just for general purposes. Okay. Now, the second type of rod that I'll talk about is your spinning rod setup. Okay. Again, this is a Carbon Light 2.0 series by Bass Pro Shop, part of their Johnny Morris lineup. Now, this rod is a 7'6" medium action fast tip. So again, almost identical specs to the bait casting rod that I just talked about. So you might ask yourself, well, Jason, what's the point of having two different rods? Presentations, conditions, the type of fish I'm fishing for example. Now, when it comes to a general purpose rod, one that I grew up using all the time, spinning setup. Reason being is I grew up in the Rocky Mountains. I grew up riding a bike to and from little farm ponds. I didn't have a boat. I didn't grow up next to large bass reservoirs that would allow me the opportunity to learn a bait caster. And to be honest with you, the first time I picked up a bait caster, I was probably about 12 years old. Nobody in my family knew anything really about fishing bait casters. And I turned it into a bird's nest. And then for, the next year or so, I tried to learn how to cast it on my own. And that was in the days before YouTube. So I finally got frustrated with it and I really didn't fish with it much. Now, a spinning rod setup, it was quick, it was easy. I could break my rod down into two parts. It was a two-piece rod. And that allowed me to just hold on to my handlebars, rod in each hand, tackle box in the other, and I could ride my bike for miles and just chase farm pond bass. And that's really where I think the spinning rod excels, is that you can throw a bunch of different lures on it. If you're in a boat and you're fancy and you got the graphs and you want to go out and drop shot, that's your weapon. You want to go out and you want to throw smaller crankbaits that don't fly in the wind real well, like a Rapala, Shad Rap, for example, that's your weapon. You want to go out and throw a Ned rig, that's your weapon. The spinning rod definitely has its place in the bass fishing community. But you can also go out and, jig for walleye with it. You can go out and catch crappie with it. You can go out, matter of fact, you can catch just about any type of fish on a spinning rod. The rod and the reel does not determine what type of fish that you can catch. So don't think when you watch TV and you see all these guys out there throwing bait casters that you have to throw a bait caster in order to catch the kind of bass that they are catching. I caught 6-pound largemouth on this rod right here this year. So, it's very possible. I catch a lot of big bass on the spinning setup. And still, if I'm grabbing a rod to go down to, the local rivers here or a creek, I'm going out exploring a new creek, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably taking a spinning rod with me, just because I can throw a greater assortment of smaller baits, and it's just more versatile. Now, that's in my opinion, right? There's going to be those guys that grew up fishing out of a boat or on larger bass lakes, and they're going to tell you, bait caster is the way to go. I would say that if you truly want to chase things that swim, learn all the tools that you can. Learn how to use all those tools, but do it in steps. And seek out friends that use them. Seek out videos about, rod selections and how to use them. And just, you don't have to break the bank to go out and learn how to fish. You can pick up a rod and reel combo, a basic rod and reel combo. I think I've seen them at Walmart starting at like $39.99 and going all the way up from there. The main thing is, I would say, without getting too techie, don't get one that's really flimsy like a buggy whip, but don't get one that's like a broomstick. If you can grab that rod and you can kind of give her a good flex, not too hard, right? You don't want to break a rod in the store, right? But if it's got a pretty good flex to it and things, it'll probably get you started. So let's go with that for today. I wish you all good luck, and keep fishing.